Why are Republicans seemingly not as alarmed about President Trump's handling of documents compared to worries about Hillary Clinton's emails? Both former National Security Advisor Sandy Berger, former CIA Director John Deutsch, slapped with criminal penalties for mishandling national security documents. We know there are the 15 boxes down in Mar-a-Lago. There's allegations of flushing documents down the toilet in the Oval Office that the former president has denied. How do you answer that?
Well, first of all, I don't know what's true and what's not, because they've made up so many stories about Donald Trump over the years that, I mean, things that I just knew were flat out untrue. But nowadays, in the mainstream media, you just need one source to smear Donald Trump. Maybe you don't even need that. So it's hard to tell anymore what really happened and what didn't. The documents that were in Mar-a-Lago, by all accounts, were turned over. Look, if the process wasn't followed there, then there needs to be something that happens about that. It's not a crime, I don't believe. But the stuff about flushing paper down the toilet, who knows if that's even true? These people, I mean, at this point, I've seen at least a dozen things said about Trump that turned out to be complete lies. Somebody just make it up, and some in the media just run with it. It's the truth. I've seen books with things in there that I know were not true, and they're widely reported as established facts. So that's why it's so difficult to take anything they say seriously. But what I'm talking about with what happened with Clinton, that's not some reporter. That's not some story in the New York Times. That's a federal pleading in federal court.
Yeah, come on now. Is stealing top secret documents from the White House really a crime? Oh, it is? Okay, yeah, it's a crime. Here's Marco Rubio claiming that it's just so difficult to take any of these damning reports about Donald Trump seriously because sometimes he reads things that he believes aren't true. And so even though Trump tried to extort the Ukrainian president for dirt on Biden and used the Secret Service to enrich himself at his golf clubs and lied about a lost election and incited a coup on the US Capitol, even though we have irrefutable proof of the overt corruption that he traffics in, still Marco Rubio simply can't bring himself to believe anything these days because his bar for truth is just too high. And that, my friends, is why he's deferring to the king of honesty, Donald Trump. I mean, I get it. Sometimes senators have to twist themselves into pretzels a little bit for the leader of their party, but this is just the peak of groveling. To claim that Donald Trump, of all people, probably didn't even commit a crime by stealing documents from the White House before immediately pivoting back to Hillary Clinton, who, just to remind everyone, hasn't even run for office in 7 years, is not just sycophantic, it's frankly really lazy. And speaking of both handling classified documents and Hillary Clinton, I imagine you wouldn't be too surprised to hear that Marco Rubio did in fact have quite the opinion of both of those things back in 2016 when he issued a press release stating, quote, "The FBI concluded what many Americans have known for quite some time, which is that Hillary Clinton's conduct as Secretary of State and her mishandling of classified information was disgraceful and unbecoming of someone who aspires to the presidency. There is simply no excuse for Hillary Clinton's decision to set up a home-cooked email system which left sensitive and classified national security information vulnerable to theft and exploitation by America's enemies. Her actions were grossly negligent, damaged national security, and put lives at risk. Hillary Clinton's actions have sent the worst message to the millions of hardworking federal employees who hold security clearances and are expected to go to great lengths to secure sensitive government information and abide by the rules. They don't take their oaths lightly, and we shouldn't expect any less of their leaders." I mean, dear God, the speed with which Marco Rubio went from mishandling classified information is disgraceful, unbecoming, grossly negligent, damaging of national security, it put lives at risk, to, come on now, is this even a crime? Is it even bad? Who among us hasn't mishandled classified documents? I would say it was surprising, but if you know Marco Rubio, yeah, it's not even mildly surprising. And finally, at the issue at the heart of Rubio's claim as to whether stealing government documents is a crime or not, and I hope you're sitting down for this, it is. Just ask former Intel specialist Reality Winter, who in 2018 was given the longest sentence ever imposed, over 5 years in federal prison for the unauthorized release of government information. So I get that Donald Trump keeps claiming ignorance and his sycophants like Marco Rubio will continue carrying water for him, pretending that somehow the former president of the United States just has zero clue what any of the laws he keeps breaking are, but they're not fooling anyone. They are only proving themselves complicit in yet more criminal activity that we've come to expect from the GOP. To see more videos like this, click the subscribe button right here on this screen. And if you want to support my work, subscribe to my podcast, No Lie with Brian Tyler Cohen. I cover the most important stories each week, and my guest is always one of the top political figures, including Vice President Kamala Harris, Jen Psaki, Elizabeth Warren, Pete Buttigieg, Nancy Pelosi, Katie Porter, Cory Booker, and so many more. The podcast link is also right here on this screen, so give it a listen and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts.